Welcome back this morning. We are finally just 2 days away from Super Bowl 59, and this year's matchup is setting the stage for an unforgettable weekend. The Philadelphia Eagles return to the big game, looking to stop the Kansas City Chiefs from a historic three-peat victory in New Orleans. And oh my goodness, we're so lucky to have NBC Sports' Mike Tirico joining us for more on everything to look forward to this Sunday. Mike, good morning. We always love when you join us. Thanks for being here.
Happy Super Bowl Friday.
There
Glad
you
to be with you,
go.
Savannah.
I know, the eve of the big game. Mike, okay, so let's just look back to each team's playoff run and talk about the momentum that they say they bring into the Super Bowl. What do you think?
Well, Philadelphia, we saw it firsthand. We had their game against the Rams, and then they blew out Washington, their division rival in the NFC Championship game. So they've built a lot of momentum playing at home, a team that runs the ball very effectively. And when a running game gets synchronized, it's 5 offensive linemen or sometimes an extra tight end there as well, blocking for a running back. That's 6, 7 people working in harmony. That's hard to do over and over. But when you get rolling, it's hard to stop. And Philadelphia is rolling when it comes to that. On the other side with Kansas City, the advantage of being the best team in the AFC, they had a week off. They got a bye. It allowed them to get healthy. They really locked up their spot before the last couple of weeks of the regular season. So it's very rare to say a team comes in chasing a 3rd championship and is fresh. Well, you can say that about Kansas City. So both have momentum in different ways coming into this game.
Mike, we've talked so much about the Chiefs team specifically led by Patrick Mahomes and also head coach Andy Reid. With this potential three-peat, I mean, with that on the line, what type of game plan do you think we should expect from the Chiefs, like given the way those two kind of lead the team and how kind of creative they are and how it just seems like Mahomes knows how to win, period?
Exactly. He's like that one kid who was in the playground. Every time he was on a team, that team won, right? He just has that magic about him. And it's interesting that you say this, Savannah, because what is being talked about at the top line of this game, the history of trying to become the first team to win 3 consecutive Super Bowls in this Super Bowl era, which dates back to 1967, really goes hand in hand with how this team approaches it. They're not talking one bit about that. They're talking about this game, this moment. They've played Philadelphia. Andy Reid is the winningest coach in Philadelphia and Kansas City history. So they know that the team on the other side is a quality team. So their focus is really on this moment. And Mahomes and Reid ability to be comfortable in these moments, I think, just seeps through to the rest of the team.
That's a good way to put it. Mike, this is a rematch, of course, from Super Bowl 57 just 2 years ago. Let's talk about the Eagles, how they plan to try to stop the Chiefs this time around. And, of course, I feel like we can't have that conversation without talking about Saquon Barkley and the difference maker that he could be.
You're right on both accounts. Let's start with Saquon Barkley. As good a season as we've seen from an NFL running back when you combine his regular season and playoffs. We're likely to say that when this is all said and done. Terrific running back with the Giants, injured. Giants don't re-sign him. Philadelphia does. And they put a really, really special running back behind the best offensive line in the National Football League. Philadelphia has shared that title with Detroit over the last couple of years, and the combination's been magical. I think in this game, one of the keys is going to be how good is Philadelphia's quarterback. Jalen Hurts, people have said, can he do it in the big moments? I just think back to 2 years ago, that Super Bowl you just mentioned. He was sensational in that game. He had 1 turnover, and that cost them the game. It was a 7-point game. But if you go back and watch that game or read about that game, Jalen Hurts was fabulous. He was just as good as Patrick Mahomes. So I don't have any doubts in his ability, but I think his ability to make the big plays in the big moments will be what decides this football game.
Such great stories for both Hurts and Barkley. It's so cool to see them make it to this game. It seems like no matter what, even while we're all like, who's going to win, and everybody has their reasonings for why it's going to be one or the other, it's going to be an amazing game.
It has that feel to it, and I think, Savannah, a big part of that is both of these teams are used to the big stage. Sometimes you'll get a team that's new to the Super Bowl, players who haven't experienced it. And while that's true for some of the players on each side, Philadelphia plays in big games all the time, given the division they're in, the NFC East. Many of these players were on the field for the Super Bowl against Kansas City a couple of years ago, so these guys will not be overwhelmed by the moment. And for Kansas City, this is just an entry in their calendar. Oh, Super Bowl. Okay, what day is it? We're going to be there. And they're used to this at this point, 5 of the last 6. So I think the comfort will be will offset the big stage that this is on, the Superdome, a venue that over its 50 years has seen a lot of great NFL moments. And I think we'll have a terrific game in there again tomorrow, or Sunday, I should say.
And Mike, I understand you're not working. How are you watching?
I'm enjoying a couple of days in New Orleans, then I'm going to join the 100 million Americans and put my feet up and eat and drink and enjoy the game. Sometimes it's fun to be a part of the game, but it's even more fun to just sit back and relax and enjoy it. So we have the game next year on NBC, so I'm going to take the opposite route this year and sit on the couch and enjoy it.
Well, you deserve it. Enjoy every minute. Mike, thanks very much for joining us. We're lucky to get to talk to you right before it.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.